I feel like I need to go this way. Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the Ted Show. I'm trying to look forward. It's so weird, this whole thing. I'm super excited to have Theresa Smith-Levin back with us from Central Florida Vocal Arts. And of course, she is also affiliated with Opera del Sol. And we're in person, right?
Which
so
I love.
I love too, but I'm trying to figure, it's so funny, you forget, right? So I'm trying to figure out how to do this. I'm not doing such a great job. Please focus on the pretty one and not the crazy one. Theresa's a dear friend. She is a vocal teacher, instructor extraordinaire. She also sings on her own, did her own one-woman show. I mean, the things that Theresa has accomplished are amazing, and it's always a joy to have her on here. This time, we're going to be talking about some upcoming stuff that's going on. And Theresa just has all sorts of news for you. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be back here in person.
In person. It's funny when you said that, you know, not a lot of people request that anymore. They like the far away, and I've been pretty much vaccinated, shot up, and
me too.
So we're
double vax.
We're golden. That doesn't mean that we weren't practicing right before we went live. We had our little masks on, you know, here we go. Just so everybody knows. Okay, but enough about that. So for the audience who's been living under a rock and hasn't seen the show and know anything about you, tell them about you.
Certainly. So I am the founder and executive director of Central Florida Vocal Arts and the executive director of Opera del Sol. We are organizations dedicated to reimagining the future of vocal arts and using our platform in arts education, performance, and appreciation to build better community through the arts.
I love it. It's like your elevator speech. You got that down to a science.
That is, I feel like if there's anything that you can do as an executive director, you better be able to talk about what your organization
I love it. I don't love it. I'm being facetious, but I love it when people, I'll say, so tell us about your organization. We were founded in.
You gotta get quick.
I'm like, come on. I need to be interested. You've lost my interest already.
Yeah.
You've been on the show many, many times. Tell them about your background.
Absolutely. So I grew up in Winter Park. A lot of times people who meet me say, oh, where did you grow up? Because there aren't many people who are born and raised in Central Florida, but I am one of them. I was born in Winter Park Hospital. I went to Brookshire Elementary School, Glenridge, Winter Park High School, undergraduate at UCF, master's at Miami. Go Knights. I did music education at UCF and vocal performance at Miami. And so I was singing since forever, loved the arts, was one of the only places that I found a lot of challenge. I really thrived in academia. I wasn't sort of the stereotypical like artist, don't do well at math. I was great at school, but I actually found singing and arts to be more challenging. I think that's what kept my interest. And I felt like it was a place where people could connect with one another and build empathy and have really important, sometimes difficult conversations. So it won my heart. And I knew that that's where I wanted to be. I wanted to be a voice teacher, and I wanted to be also able to impact groups of students. But I didn't really love classroom teaching. I did that very briefly. It wasn't for me.
That doesn't seem like your artsy self to be stuck in that.
You know, there's just a lot of stuff when you're a classroom teacher, and I applaud all of my classroom teacher friends. It is hard. A lot of things that are outside of teaching art. And I didn't like all the hoops and I'm very disruptive. I'm disruptive in my industry. I'm not a rule follower, especially if the rule doesn't serve the interests of the people. So I felt like there were a lot of rules that didn't necessarily enable learning and help students. So that made it a great opportunity to do my own thing. So that's kind of how we started Central Florida Vocal Arts, and seeing some things in my teaching that weren't being met by the current systems in place, and coming in to augment accessibility so that all students could have access to amazing arts opportunities. And we've just grown from there, as well as innovating what it looks like in a professional performance sphere as well.
So why is it important? I know why it's important. This is a rhetorical question, but I think it's important for you to answer it. Why is it important to have the arts? I do so much. I'm a big proponent, but I do a lot of shows, and people will say, "Don't you get tired of talking about the arts? Don't you get tired of talking about that stuff?" And of course, the answer is no. I'm like, it's such an important thing. It's life changing. It impacts all of our lives when our youth are impacted and our communities are impacted. So I can only tell you the TED version. Why don't you tell me the version, since you've been in the trenches of it all?
Certainly. So I say that I want all students to have access to superior arts education. And Orange County Public Schools, Scott Evans, who's the art superintendent here, does a great job of ensuring that. But he and I met a couple years ago, and I said, what is it that your students are missing? And he said, a lot of the students that are going on to upper echelon opportunities, all county, all state, solo ensemble, they do not match the demographics of the classroom. And that is because not all students can afford to have piano lessons and voice lessons. They're not inexpensive. So coming in to make sure that we're not creating a barrier of entry, because there's a lot of conversations going on right now. Why isn't there more diversity on our stages? We haven't built a pipeline. So you can't wonder why you don't see more BIPOC folks on stage when you haven't made sure that you're ensuring that they have access to education. So we're starting there with that, but many of the students may go on to be artists, maybe not. Here's what I really care about is that through arts education, that these students build self-efficacy. They know that they are capable of doing things that are hard and are scary. They build their confidence. They build empathy when they learn to inhabit a role that is not their own. They believe in others through watching other kids get up and do their own performances. They believe in their friends. They cultivate problem-solving skills. I'm telling you, if you've ever been on stage when something goes wrong, you've never solved a problem quicker. So they become critical thinkers, and these skills are things that take them far outside of the stage. Whether they become, leaders in our community, whether they are stay-at-home moms, those skills that they cultivate through arts education serve to build better communities. So investing in our youth today is investing in the future of our community by making sure that these kids have opportunities like this.
I must say, it's funny. I'm sitting here listening to you. I'm like, damn, she has this down to it. I mean, we never talk about questions beforehand, but gosh, I mean, that is an answer. People pay attention because that's the kind of answer I want when I ask those questions, because it's all encompassing and you're telling heart and soul and educating. So when you come on the show and you don't know what you're talking about, you might want to reevaluate what you're doing. What's great about you is that you have the passion, you live it, you eat it, you breathe it every single day. You love it, even if it makes you exhausted, even if you're going till 10 o'clock tonight, it feeds you, it feeds your soul. And what happens, so I was blessed enough, Theresa's been on the show a bunch. I've been to a lot of her events, and then she and Nicole Dupre helped coach me when I did this crazy fundraiser.
You were amazing.
And you know what? The thing I felt about then is that you created a safe environment to do what I needed to do. Because I was stepping outside this comfort zone that I think most people would have. I mean, I put on that's a whole nother thing. Got makeup, dress. It's insane.
He was beautiful.
It was a beautiful evening. But here, look, C just sent a friend request to Theresa to learn more. And that's what we want you to do.
Yes.
But what I can tell you is as a student at that moment, because that's what I felt so good. It just felt like I could do whatever I wanted. I could make the mistakes I needed to make. And that's what you want when it comes to education, especially vocal arts. You might not, if you've never been trained, if you've never played a piano, if you've only sung in the shower, and this is where your passion is, you need somebody to help you establish that foundation, create those skills, and then hone the natural skills that you have.
It's interesting because we talk a lot about youth. What I sometimes forget to say is I think that everyone is an artist at any age. So we have programs that we take to senior living facilities, not aimed at people who grew up singing, aimed at people who always wanted to sing but didn't consider themselves capable. Because I don't think that art and singing is supposed to be only for an elite few. If you can talk, you can sing. You may not have developed the coordination to feel comfortable with that just yet, but it doesn't mean that you can't learn. And beyond exploring their own creativity and their own capacity as singers, these seniors then build these social emotional outcomes by connecting with others, by getting out of their rooms and trying something new and being supported by their peers and supporting their peers. So art isn't for just a few of us, it's for all of us. And so a lot of times adults, they love to say to me like, oh, you wouldn't want to hear me sing. I say, yes, I do. I absolutely do want to hear you sing. Right. A lot of times people remember when they're in middle school or sometimes even earlier, getting this feedback that they weren't good singers, oftentimes from a trusted adult, but sometimes from a peer, and then they just stop. If you stopped walking when you were in elementary school or middle school, you probably wouldn't be great at walking either. It's just that you stopped learning that coordination and you still can. So if it's something that touches your heart and something that you want to explore about yourself, please just do. Find a trusted voice teacher and find an environment that will support you and nurture that.
So important. All right. So tell us what's coming up. There's some cool stuff going on.
So right now we are in the middle of a collaborative campaign for the arts with United Arts of Central Florida. So we are a tiny little nonprofit company. I founded it myself about 8 years ago with no nonprofit background, no funding. I just thought other people were doing it, so I'd figure it out. And that's what we did. And we sort of self-started, and we have grown so much over the years. And this past year, we were part of the Empower the Arts campaign with United Arts of Central Florida, which was for the small to mid-sized budget category nonprofits that they serve. This year, we were invited to be a part of the collaborative campaign for the arts, which essentially is the grown-up table. And I feel like the kids that got invited to the grown-up table. So we have been challenged to raise $25,000 by April 30th. So I know that's how I feel about it.
Wow, 18 days.
So we are working on that. So the reason I titled this episode "Skip a Latte, Save an Artist" is just $5 from a bunch of people can make a big impact. So even if you don't have $1,000 to give, although if you do, that's great too. But if $5 can make a huge difference, and some of the things that goes toward is, like I mentioned, that program that we offer in Title I schools. We want to expand that to more schools to be able to reach more children. I'm sure that you've interviewed Rosine Johnson.
Yes, I love from PACE.
I am passionate about PACE Center for Girls. We want to bring that program to those girls because, again, this is about building self-efficacy, confidence, leadership. We have a lot of shared values. So bringing that program to them, offering these innovative performance opportunities. You and I were talking about our City Lights series not too long ago.
Yes.
So we have a once a month series that is a live streamed performance from City Arts Factory just around the corner here, where we pay 2 artists, a pianist and a singer, to perform for us, and they get tips from the viewing audience. And so we're paying them because many of our artists are either unemployed or underemployed right now. I don't know if everybody's aware, but about 90% of the equity contracts from Disney no longer exist. So that is a huge part of our community. So making sure that we're providing opportunities for artists. And we were one of the only 12% of performing arts companies stay completely open during the pandemic. We never shut down operations. And that's true of only 12% of arts companies in this country. And so
That's unbelievable. Because it was such a hard year. Guys, you have to remember 2020, every performance shut down. Your fundraisers shut down. I mean, for the longest time, artists could not perform, and it's just now beginning to come back to some sense of normalcy. But what Theresa's talking about is that they were able to still maintain, pivot, be creative, which is what we want them to be because they're all creatives, and do something within the parameters that the pandemic unfortunately set. And so a lot of people could not pivot, which is why a lot of the artists didn't have the stages to be on, the vocal lessons, the teaching, and you had to now do everything on Zoom. It was a long process to get used to that. And so they are all back in the arena where we're trying to get more live performances and not just on Zoom. We're trying to do a whole bunch more, and we want you guys to be involved because it's back. This is their livelihood. This is their vocation, their passion. Let's support them is the whole thought process. All right, you have some fun, exciting offer you're going to make about what's coming up. So I remembered. Can you believe it?
I'm so proud.
I did not think I would remember that.
So, like you said, we're gearing up to get back to our first big live performance. So, at the Orlando Fringe Festival, Fringe, because I found that people who don't know Fringe sometimes think that it is French.
Yes.
It's not French, it is Fringe. We were supposed to do the show Requiem at 2020 Fringe, and obviously 2020 Fringe was not to be. But 2021 Fringe is happening, and we are so excited to bring that show to the festival. So it's called Requiem. It is a beautiful work. Our artistic director, Nisha Johnson, she basically took Mozart's Requiem and wove it into all of these different pop and contemporary pieces. Wow. Sia, Radiohead, Evanescence, Linkin Park, Camila Cabello, these amazing artists, and wove Mozart's Requiem into it, and then reimagining the pieces in a more classical operatic format
Nice.
And here's what I'm really passionate about. You may not have heard this yet, Ted, but the story is all about a girl who suffers from opioid addiction. And that's a very personal story, especially for Nicole. She won't mind me telling you this. Her ex-husband died of an opioid overdose. And so she's very passionate about that. She and Nisha conceptualized this show. And so it's meant to offer advocacy and destigmatize what addiction looks like, and hopefully start what might be a difficult conversation and provide support. So we're also working with community partners like Advent Health to make sure that there are resources on site after the show so that people are able to get the help that they may need or offer help to somebody who is in their sphere who may need that help. I think that arts is an easy way to start conversations that maybe you can't have around the dinner table. We've all seen a movie or heard a song that made us feel something that we knew was true in our hearts, but we didn't know how to begin that dialogue. So we are going to be doing that.
It's amazing.
Thank you. And so one of the things that we want to do today is for anybody who is able to participate in the collaborative campaign for the arts, make a donation. We are going to have a contest.
Woo, I love contests.
Yes, me too. To win a pair of tickets to Requiem, as well as 2 Opera del Sol t-shirts, which they're really cool looking. So it's not like a ugly t-shirt that you never wear. I actually wore mine to rehearsal yesterday. So we're a pair of tickets and 2 t-shirts if you make a minimum $5 donation. Now, how do you make that donation?
Oh, yes. Tell us how we make it.
So I need to go ahead and drop a link into the comments at some point. But the easiest way for anybody listening right now, you can just text CFVA, as in Central Florida Vocal Arts, CFVA, to 71777, and it'll just walk you through the prompts. And so then if you just screenshot your donation into the comments, then on Wednesday at the same time, we'll go ahead and draw a random winner for those tickets and those t-shirts.
Yes. And you know what? We'll throw in another set of tickets. How's that?
Oh my gosh, 4 tickets!
So 4 tickets. VIP will do it. Yay!
Yay!
We'll buy the tickets.
And I will say that we do anticipate this show to sell out because it is limited capacity. So we're in the Orange venue, which is the largest venue. Normally that would have 300 or so seats, but it's only going to have about 100. And so we expect that there's a good chance that all 7 shows will sell out.
Of course.
Those tickets go on sale after the teaser show, which is next Monday. So if you are planning on coming, if you don't win these tickets, please buy your tickets early because they will sell out. And we want to make sure that everybody in our community who is passionate about this and wants to see this has the opportunity to do so.
Have you done the dry run? Have you guys really, have you done dress rehearsal?
So
where are we at? Because it's coming up.
Yeah.
Right?
So it's going to make you nervous. We had our first rehearsal last night. But what I will say is we put it together very, very quickly. And because this show was intended for 2020 Fringe, we have a lot of the materials already together. So we did a recording of about 5 pieces back in August at Timucua House because we collaborated with another group called Advanced Recovery Systems to offer a webinar series that said, take your broken heart and turn it into art. And so each week, thank you, each week we would do one of the performances, share a video of the performance, and then talk about specifically what that piece spoke to, and then have a little bit of talk back with the audience. So we have 5 of these pieces out of about 10 already recorded, and we have a lot of the team that was involved in those recordings already involved. So we're starting with a basis in place. So it's going very quickly. That teaser show is next Monday. We're at the mature audience teaser because it is heavy material. Right. And so that's at 9 o'clock at the Orlando Shakes. And you'll see 10 teased shows in each of the previews. And after that time, they'll put it on sale, but it's 2 minutes for each show. So we have to basically find the best 2 minutes and put it on. So we were
kind of like
the
movie trailer.
Exactly right.
Just a little quicker. And
we just gotta
now, can people go to that live or is it streamed?
It is live. So actually the Fringe is doing a really good job of offering options to meet people at their comfort zone. So they are offering live tickets. They're offering outdoor tickets. So let's say you want to go live, but you're not comfortable in an indoor theater space. There is a lawn that they'll be projecting it onto so you can watch live, but outdoors. And then thirdly, you can watch it online, but it's 24 hours delayed. So you wouldn't be able to watch it live because they do want to incentivize people being there on site. But I do believe 24 hours after the show, you're able to watch it online.
Absolutely. Amazing. All right. Where do they find everything? Where do we go? What do we do?
So perfect. So if you're wanting to donate, you can visit, it's unitedarts.cc /Central Florida Vocal Arts. That'll take you right to the donation page. And again, just a screenshot of a $5 donation and you can be entered to win these tickets. And then, or you can text CFVA to 71777. And then you can also visit our website, which is centralfloridavocalarts.org, as well as operadelsol.org. So when people are confused about how do Central Florida Vocal Arts and Opera del Sol work together, I always think of Disney, right? So Disney owns ESPN. Opera del Sol is our ESPN in that we can do sort of different content, more adult content, whereas Central Florida Vocal Arts, a lot of our mission is dedicated to youth. So when we produce under that banner, it's something that you could bring the family to. Opera del Sol is going to push that envelope a little bit more. So operadelsol.org is where you'll find more information about Requiem.
Amazing. All right. The one and only Theresa Smith-Levin. Go to centralfloriavocalarts.org. Also, Theresa's going to put all of the links where you can text and follow everything we just talked about. And then for the first, we're going to put everybody in. 2 of you, once you take your snapshot of your donation, put it in the comments. 2 of you will get tickets for 2, and I guess 2 T-shirts.
Yeah.
We can throw the T-shirts in too. That's fine.
4 T-shirts.
4 T-shirts. Separately though, you don't get all 4 if you
right.
win.
2 and
we need 2 and 2.
Yes.
But we'd be honored to partake in that. And I just love everything that you do and your energy. It's so awesome. She's just like this in person, guys. And you know what? You want that kind of energy when you are dealing with the arts and the community. She would love probably nothing more than to educate and perform, but you have a whole nother world that you have to deal with when it's fundraising and coordination, execution of what you're doing, implementation. It's a lot to be the executive director and creative director. So
it's a lot of different hats,
Yeah.
but I also feel very blessed to do what I do. I don't wake up in the morning and hate going to work. I really don't. I am passionate about our work. I am passionate about the change that I see in young people, the change that we're making in our community, the way we're disrupting classical music industry. I love what I do. So yeah, it's a lot, but it's worth
every second. I'm with you. Wake up every morning and thank God for where I'm at. Isn't that awesome? All right. Theresa Smith-Levin again, Central Florida, vocalarts.org or operadelsol.org, and we'll put the text you can do and the website for Requiem. We definitely want you guys to show up. That's a powerful, powerful message that show has. I'm so excited for you to be here. We did it in person. Look,
Yay!
We did it. Look, and even though we look, my shoulder, I look like a linebacker. I mean, I guess
you know what it is? I just need to do this. It's like, you know how you never want to be like the friend who's the closest up in the selfie?
You
because
should.
Like, I look huge.
Trust me, they want to look at you, not me. Theresa Smith-Levin, you're a joy. Love you to pieces. Love everything that you do. Please go out and support our local arts. The community's coming back. We need to help support it. Our children benefit, our seniors benefit, and believe it or not, so do you. So reach out, please. CentralFloridaVocalArts.org. Let's do this. We'll see you guys later. We love you. Bye.